Coming up on Fulton Today, the arrival of assessment notices yields questions for some property owners.
After receiving their assessment notices in the mail, residential and business owners have questions about their homestead exemptions. I'm Brian Robinson, and I'll tell you how the representatives from the tax assessor's office are providing answers.
And patrons celebrate the grand reopening and renaming of a county library. That and much more starts right now on Fulton Today. Welcome to Fulton Today, everybody. I'm Shania Chavis-Rucker. After sending out assessment notices last month, representatives from the tax assessor's office say they have received multiple phone calls and emails from property owners who have questions about the implementation of their homestead exemptions. FGTV's Brian Robinson joins us now to explain how these questions are being addressed. Brian?
Shania, assessment notices are key in determining how much property owners will pay in county property taxes later this year. To help those owners understand how the value of their property was appraised, this property assessment fact sheet was created and can be found on the Board of Assessors website. On the first page, you will see information about pending appeals and a list of the 9 new property tax relief options all homestead properties in Fulton County now benefit from. On page 2, the Property Assessment Basics category explains how every county property is assessed and must be within 10% of fair market value. Also on page 2 is a breakdown of the Fulton County Tax Digest. On the Board of Assessors website, you can also find a digital copy of the Understanding Your Assessment Notice insert that was included in the mailed notices, as well as a glossary of terms for a clearer explanation of the terminology used on your notice. Once again, the deadline to appeal your assessment notice is August 2nd. If you have questions about your notice or the appeal process, you can contact the assessor's office directly. Reporting for FGTV, I'm Brian Robinson.
Thank you very much, Brian. Meanwhile, as the country begins to focus on the 2020 presidential election, Fulton's elections team is reminding county residents about a county election coming up. Residents in District 6 will head to the polls on September 17th to decide who will replace the late Commissioner Emma I. Darnell.
Early voting will run from Monday, August 26th to Friday, September 6th from 8:30 to 5, and then Monday, September 9th, to Friday, September 13th from 8:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. We will have one Saturday from 8:30 to 5 on September 7th, and it'll be at Fairburn Library, the Fulton County Government Center, and the South Fulton Service Center.
And if you've moved recently, you may have received a notice in the mail reminding you to update your voter registration information. The voter registration deadline is August 19th. For more details, you can contact the Registration and Elections Office at 404-612-7020 or log on to fultonelections.com. The Fulton County Attorney's Office has earned a prestigious honor in its field.
Fulton County Attorney's Office, this is Ivy speaking. How may I help you?
The department has been named In-House Legal Department of the Year. The award, presented by the local publication Daily Report, acknowledges the department's actions in standing up for Fulton County residents wanting to avoid an increase in their property values.
Oh, it was a tremendous honor to have the work of this team recognized by our peers. This is the hardest working group of people I've ever worked for or supervised, and they have accomplished just miracles on a shoestring budget, peanut salary, and it's just amazing when you go up against giants in the law firms and corporations and you prevail.
The Office of the County Attorney prepares legislation and resolutions for the Board of Commissioners, as well as interpreting local, state, and federal laws for Fulton officials. The Office of the County Attorney employs 22 full-time attorneys and is one of the most innovative public law offices in the state of Georgia. The next class of certified public managers successfully completes a rigorous leadership program. As a part of the Fulton County CPM initiative, county staffers who are in management can now officially say they are more prepared to lead. The group graduated from the program after several weeks of leadership courses and exercises as a part of the certified training process.
What we're going to see is the beginning of some newly impassioned, newly educated on strategic patterns and talents to the benefit of the taxpayers of the county.
What I'm so impressed with is that we have found the folks that are willing to commit 300 hours worth of time, a huge amount of personal effort, time outside of work while still doing their own jobs to advance their careers and advance their understanding and skill sets. And by the way, it's paying benefits over and over. I can see it in projects, I can see it in leadership positions that are being taken. I can quite frankly see it in the faces of the graduates.
During the training process, the group also took part in public service projects. The keynote speaker thanked the class for their dedication to the program.
This was a great professional development as a leader of a staff of many personalities, diverse group. Taught me many different skills and tools and techniques to take back to deal with the staff on every level, high and low.
But to be with our cohorts and to learn more about Fulton County, the different departments, the different operations has been phenomenal.
This year's class represents 21 different county departments. The Certified Public Managers course is a part of the University of Georgia's Carl Vinson Institute of Government. Our very own External Affairs team members, James Reese, Daryl Carver, and Felicia Church, are in this great class. Congratulations to you guys. Meanwhile, a group of county residents can also call themselves graduates after completing this year's Fulton County Citizens University program. FGTV's Daryl Carver looks back at their final weeks of the program.
The time finally arrived for these Fulton Citizens University students to turn their proverbial tassels. The distinguished guests at this year's Fulton County Citizens University graduation included Chairman Rob Pitts, Commissioner Natalie Hall, and the founder and CEO of the Partnership for Southern Equity, Nathaniel Smith. Each praised the 2019 graduates for wanting to know how their local government operates.
We are just fortunate to have citizens of Fulton County who would take the time and be interested enough and to go through this program to learn exactly what it is that we do on behalf of the 1 million plus people that we serve every day.
In the final weeks leading to graduation, the class met with the select Fulton team to learn about the benefits companies receive doing business in Fulton County. They also heard who's in charge of county building operations, ground maintenance, and vehicle support.
Definitely interested in development in South Fulton, commercial development, jobs, and so forth. Real interesting to hear all the different things that are going on to bring development to Fulton County.
Also cool is that you guys auction off like your desks and chairs and vehicles that are getting used, so nothing's wasted, and so I might have to see what you guys are selling too.
The scene then shifted to the Department of External Affairs, where after some brief training, half of the class was responsible for airing a newscast, while the other half found out what it's like to organize a press conference. The result looked like this.
And we hope that we will see you out at future events. Thank you again.
And we're back. I hear it's kind of hostile over there.
But because that question is there, many individuals will probably not participate.
I really loved that it was very interactive. We had no idea exactly what was going to happen, and it was very exciting. Definitely you learn that every single person has an important role.
Now that they've completed the course, the students say they hope to incorporate what they've learned into their respective communities. Reporting for FGTV, I'm Daryl Carver.
Thanks, Daryl. As always, we had a good time hosting everyone. Up next on Fulton Today, Fulton commissioners do their part in raising awareness about the importance of HIV testing. Our district-by-district coverage is next. Fulton commissioners lend their support to get people tested for HIV and AIDS, and young people wrap up their summer assignments of learning how to become better writers. Here's this week's district-by-district coverage. We begin with Fulton's push to end the HIV and AIDS epidemic in the county. Chairman Rob Pitts and Commissioner Natalie Hall joined Fulton's interim Board of Health Director for the Stop HIV ATL Carnival at the Ponce City Market. On National HIV Testing Day, Fulton's Health Department hosted the event to raise awareness about the importance of HIV testing.
We are here today on the rooftop of Ponce City Market in celebration of HIV/AIDS Day. Today we can celebrate testing, treatment, and education.
Fulton County only makes up 10% of the state's population, but we have 25% of its HIV population. 1 in 6 people are not even aware of their status that are HIV positive, and that's a scary thing.
Metro Atlanta has the 4th highest rate of new HIV diagnoses among metro areas in the United States.
Our litmus test is really simple. If you've had sex once in the past 12 months, you should get an HIV test.
According to Fulton's Ryan White office, the rate of new infections in Atlanta is twice that for Georgia as a whole. We'll have more on the county's HIV efforts later in the show. In District 5, the summer writing program to foster growth in storytelling in young people has wrapped for the year. Commissioner Marvin Arrington Jr. hosted his 3rd annual Write to Rise Young Writers Workshop and competition. Since early June, the middle and high school students were taught by authors, writers, and industry professionals to help them build their own portfolio of written work.
As we know, a lot of people are scared to get up in front of an audience and to present something. So we try to give them an opportunity not only to practice their writing skills, but also an opportunity to improve and enhance their communication skills, their verbal communication skills.
Participants are automatically entered into the competition, gaining a chance to win 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place scholarships and prizes. The awards event will be held in August. And up next, representatives from the CDC's Environmental Health Team visits Fulton's Board of Health Department. We'll tell you why. Stay with us, everybody. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, requests to meet with Fulton's Environmental Health Team to give a county perspective on a number of environmental issues. Eli Jones from the Board of Health's Environmental Office, he met with him and he joins us now here on Fulton Today. Eli, good to see you again. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Shania. Thank you for having me.
So I understand that you hosted the CDC National Center for Environmental Health and Water Food and Environmental Health Services branch, whew, that's a lot, along with the director of the environmental health from the U.S. Virgin Islands. What exactly did you share with them?
With the people from the Virgin Islands and the director of environmental health there, he visited with the CDC liaisons representatives. 3 things that stood out most to them they wanted to learn about was 1, how does Fulton County Environmental Health perform temporary inspections, enforce the regulations and the rules, and provide education. We explained our entire temporary process for food services from top to bottom. 2nd, he wanted to know about education. With Fulton County Environmental Health Services, we actually have 2 educators on staff. So our educators train all of our new hires. They keep all of our current employees up to date on all their certifications, and they also train outside the staff by doing public health, food service, pools, body art establishments, tourist accommodation training for anybody outside of our staff in Fulton County. Then 3rd, they want to know about the management and how we track productivity. 1, we want to make sure our staff is at work. 2, you want to make sure the staff is actually working. And 3, you want to make sure they're productive. So pretty much we broke down our productivity charts for a monthly that we do, showed them how to do it themselves. That way they can take it, use it as a framework, and take it back and start everything fresh with their new system they're going to put in place there.
And were you able to glean anything from how their respective branches handle various environmental issues?
The reason for their visit with us is they recently had hurricanes in the 3 Virgin Islands, and they attained government funding through the CDC to come and update their current rules and regulations. The rules and regulations that they have in the past have not been updated in over 20+ years. So when they come to visit the CDC put them in contact with Fulton County Environmental Health because we have the most up-to-date rules and regulations there is through the FDA and the DPH. So they put them in contact with us, and we pretty much gave them the framework on how to bring their outdated rules and regulations up to speed and to the current, most recent rules and regulations that we use in Fulton County Environmental Health.
Wow, what was your final takeaway?
That was it's very interesting, dealing with someone that's not using new technology, new rules and regulations. There's a lot of places out there that still need help and need help being brought up to the current code and educated. And I was glad we were able to reach out with them and sit down with them for several hours and educate them. And in the future, they still can reach us remotely through email or phone, which the CDC is going to put us in contact. We're still going to help them along the way as they, do their process, because it's going to take time for them to catch up and get up to speed and get on one level playing field.
What a great visit. Eli Jones with Fulton's Environmental Health Office. Always good to see you, sir. Thanks again.
Thanks again for having me.
Another group of county residents who once found themselves on the wrong side of the law get the mental health help they need and a second chance. This is the Misdemeanor Mental Health Court's 5th graduation ceremony at the Fulton County Justice Center. Chief Magistrate Court Judge Cassandra Kirk and justice partners congratulated the one-time defendants who, after successfully finishing the program, can live productive lives.
They come to us with a criminal record which prohibits them from doing certain things, from working certain jobs. Once they have come and completed this program, not only does their criminal record get cleared, but they also have an opportunity to have the supports they need that will prevent them from coming back into the system and also help them manage whatever their behavioral health needs were when they came to us.
We are actually investing in the future of our constituents by helping them get over major hurdles in their lives to become successful citizens again.
And graduates say this was just the help they needed, but didn't know how to get before they were charged with a misdemeanor.
I always changed my life for the good. I came into this program pretty much a mess, just finding out that battling PTSD, anxiety, and depression, and just getting on my medication. They helped me find solutions, find therapy to help me get myself mentally stable.
I'm glad that I did it. For those that might be coming behind me, this is an awesome program, and for it to have been the 5th time, and it'll be a 6th and a 7th, just because that team is just that awesome.
The Mental Health Court is one of the many accountability court programs in the Fulton County justice system. Fulton County residents get tested to learn their HIV status. Testing sites like this one in downtown Atlanta were set up all over the county. The Fulton County Board of Health's partner, the AIDS Healthcare Atlanta, was responsible for this one on Broad Street.
It's a rapid, 1-minute, completely confidential test. So literally in a matter of 2 to 3 minutes, you can know your HIV status.
The outreach was a part of the National HIV Testing Day observance.
I still get tested once every year. So it's just important to know your status and make sure that you're having safe sex and that you're not transmitting any sexually transmitted diseases to anyone.
Fulton's health professionals and their community partners are trying to get as many people as possible tested in order to stop the spread of HIV and AIDS. Fulton County ranked 6th highest for new HIV diagnoses of all counties in the U.S. And still to come, celebrating the reopening of a county library. Stay with us, everybody. Well, before we show you the grand opening of one library, we wanted to remind you about the branches that are currently closed and the ones that have also reopened. Now, along with the Central Library on that closed list, you will find the Adams Park, College Park, Cleveland Avenue, Buckhead, Northside, Northeast Spruill Oaks, and the OC libraries. This week, the Mechanicsville Library is closed, followed by the Ponce de Leon Library next week, and 2 more in coming months. Libraries that have reopened include Fairburn, East Point, and West End. For up-to-date information on all of the renovations, you can just call that renovation hotline at 404-613-READ. That's 404-613-7323. And you can add the Southwest Library to that list of libraries that are now open.
One. Cut.
With the cutting of that ribbon, the Southwest Library is now officially called the Evelyn G. Lowry Library at Southwest. County and community leaders, along with patrons, all took part in the momentous occasion.
It's just an incredible opportunity for us to really work in the community more and just really be grateful for everything that the community has embraced with us. The community's been awfully great to my family as well. They've been so loving to my family, to my dad, who turns 98 in October. So it's just a full circle moment.
Improvements to the new library include a technology zone, a centrally located information desk, children's and teen areas, group study rooms, self-checkout stations, and a computer instruction lab, just to name a few.
Libraries are important. In spite of technological advances, there's still a role and room for libraries and a need in communities like this one for libraries.
It's truly an honor to be here today. We could not have named this library after a greater person, and it certainly will continue to be a part of her great legacy.
The late Evelyn G. Lowry was a civil rights activist and leader in the 1950s, along with her husband, the Reverend Dr. Joseph Lowry. How wonderful. And before we go, our reminder that FGTV wants to connect with you online. Be sure to follow FGTV on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for up-to-date Fulton County news. You can also watch a replay of this show and any other FGTV program anytime on our YouTube channel, so please subscribe. Well, that does it for this edition of Fulton Today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Shania Chavis Rucker. Join us each week for news around and about Fulton County.